Working across text, video, and audio can get a little squirrely. If you're looking for somewhere to make sense of all those sources of information and create cohesive summaries, then you're going to want to learn about NotebookLM. Today is your complete NotebookLM tutorial. I'm going to explain what NotebookLM is, how to use NotebookLM, and I'm going to share some helpful use cases and things you're going to want to look out for. NotebookLM is a free research and note-taking tool from our friends at Google. It helps you organize, analyze, and gain insights from all kinds of different files like PDFs, Google Docs, slides, website URLs, copied text, video, and more. It can analyze sources, answer questions, and generate summaries and outlines. And of course, it's all a very collaborative experience. Think of NotebookLM as a virtual research assistant, capable of answering questions or tracking down references, all based solely on the source material that you've provided. And as if that wasn't cool enough, it can even transform all of these different files into study guides, briefings, or yes, even podcasts. And I'm going to get into all of that and the podcast generation in a little bit because it's just too cool. But that's just one use case of NotebookLM. So first, let's start with how to use NotebookLM. Head to notebooklm.google.com, and I've included a link in the description as well for you. And just make sure that you are signed into your Google account in the top right. This way, everything or all of your notebooks will be saved and accessible for you. So I'm showing you a test account of mine right now, since if you've never accessed NotebookLM before, you're going to have a privacy pop-up here, and then a prompt to create your first notebook. Here, you'll simply click on Create to get started. Now, I like to think of individual notebooks as specific projects, and then that works really well for me to keep things organized. Here, you can create a notebook for a specific project you're working on and add the relevant documents and sources. And you're going to be given some examples like Google Drive, link, even pasting in text. And you can choose up to 50 different sources for a notebook. So for this example, maybe I'm going to upload a YouTube video of mine, and keep in mind, as of right now, this is how you upload and add videos. It's via a YouTube link rather than an MP4. I'm going to click here to upload another source, and this time I'm going to upload a Google Doc of mine. And I'm not quite done yet. I actually want to add another source, so I'm going to click up here again and add a web link for even more information into this notebook. All of these sources I've uploaded have to do with freeing up Gmail space and freeing up Google Workspace space. With my sources added, you can see NotebookLM has gone and named this particular notebook something it thinks is relevant. I actually kind of like this name, but you can click to rename a notebook at any time if you wish. If it still says untitled for some reason, you would just click on that near the top left to change the name. Always make sure you're naming your notebook something that makes sense for you. So once you've uploaded all of the sources, you're going to have three main sections or panels here. You're going to see your sources on the left-hand panel. And then in this center panel, you've got your chat, which we're going to get into some of these features in a minute. And then here on the right-hand side, you've got Studio. So here's going to be some of the audio overview stuff, which basically it can generate a quick little podcast for you. And then there's some notes where you can add notes as well. And we're going to get into this and these features here shortly. First, drawing your attention back to this sources panel on the left. This is where at any time you can add additional sources, or you can toggle on or off certain sources. So keep this in mind as we move into this chat panel here when we start prompting in our notebook. Maybe we're asking to follow-up questions or something like, how does Gmail search function aid inbox management? With all the sources toggled on, it's pulling from all of these sources. So focusing again on this chat panel in the middle, you can see right at the top, it's already pulled a perfect little summary for me about what the three sources are about. So basically like what this little notebook or project is about right now. It's talking about the YouTube video I've uploaded and accompanying text, how many tips it's offering for what the tips are, And it's even pulled me, Tasia Custode, the host of the YouTube video, and then other things and resources that the video mentioned. It's a pretty great summary that happened in a matter of seconds. And you'll notice right under this summary, we have a couple of other options. We can save this to a note. So that would save this summary right as a note on the right-hand side. You could copy it. So this is literally just copies the summary, and then you could just paste it wherever you want. You can add a note, which we're gonna do in a little bit. We've got our audio overview option, and you've got the option here to create a briefing doc. Now, before we get into any of these, let's actually start by typing down at the bottom here a prompt so we can interact with our notebook. So you can pick from some of these preset follow-up questions if you'd like, or you can ask anything as specific or non-specific as you'd like, and it's going to pull from all of your sources. For this example, I actually like this third question here, which methods efficiently delete unwanted Gmail content. And this can just drill right down to the point for me. If I couldn't scan all of these documents myself, I didn't want to spend maybe 10 minutes watching the video, I'm going to click on this. And just like that, it's given me every single tip here, all organized. So prompting NotebookLM feels just like you're used to when it comes to prompting any of the LLMs you might be using, whether it be Gemini or ChatGPT, Perplexity, or whatever it is that you're used to. It feels very similar here. Now, something else you may be used to is that you can copy out any of these responses. You can also give feedback via a good response, a thumbs up, or a bad response option, the thumbs down. And up at the top, you can refresh any response if you don't love what it's given you. But another great feature of NotebookLM is the ability to quickly view where it's sourcing that info from within your source materials. So you can hover over the sources to get a quick snapshot. But if you click on a source number, it's going to open up that source guide in our left panel and show you exactly where in the source material it pulled that information from. But remember, garbage in, garbage out. You control the source information here. So if you're feeding it junk URLs or unfounded conspiracy videos that you found on YouTube, that's what you're putting into your notebook. That's what it's pulling from then. Garbage in, garbage out. But you're also going to notice with the source guide that each individual source we've uploaded has its own AI generated summary. So we're drilling down even further here now. So we can see that with this Gmail tips clean up your inbox script that I uploaded from my Google Docs, if we click on that down arrow in the source guide, we're given that specific summary of this exact source. So let's see what this looks like for another individual source that we did. We'll click on close source view arrows to get back to our regular sources layout. Here, let's click on this first source, which is the URL I added. And just like that, it's created a source guide for this specific source and auto-generated a summary of this source for us. So let's drill down even further now using a key topic from this source guide. We'll click on Gmail storage, and this prompts NotebookLM to expand on that topic a little bit based on all our sources in our source panel. It's pretty neat. So now let's learn how to make a podcast from our source information in NotebookLM. This is really helpful because these are conversational audio summaries of the key topics from our sources. So back in our notebook here, on the right, we've got our studio panel, and at the top, we see our audio overview. And check this out. We've got this deep dive conversation option where we can see it's going to be 2 hosts. For now, it's in English only. And we do have some customized options that I'm not going to go over right now in this video. So for this, let's just simply hit generate to have NotebookLM generate a conversational podcast, an audio file, if you will, for you for all of the key topics from your sources. So we click on generate, and this can take a few minutes depending on how many sources you've uploaded to your notebook and how long or big those sources might be. But know that this is going to be a completely AI-generated conversation between 2 AI-generated hosts. So this took about 3 minutes for me, and it's generated a nearly 18-minute long audio interview. So let's play a clip from this audio overview.
All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling Google Workspace storage. Specifically, how to get rid of that annoying storage full notification.
Yeah, the dreaded message.
To guide us, we've got 2 sources. First up, the official guide from the Google Workspace Learning Center, and then a YouTube video called Gmail Tips. clean up your inbox in 2025.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy, right? So we've got the same thumbs up, thumbs down option to rate our audio overviews. You can click the 3-dot menu option to change the playback speed so you can listen quicker if you want. You can download the file from here, or you could delete it if you don't like it at all. You can also click to share the audio overview, which means you're giving anyone with the link access to the overview. If you have this interactive mode, which as you can see is still in beta, you can click that to join in on the conversation. So you would give microphone access here, and then you can play and pause the audio overview to add in your own 2 cents or ask a question. And this is supposed to be dynamic, meaning it should change the discussion of the podcast, maybe send it in a different direction depending on the question you've asked or statement you've interjected with. It's supposed to be kind of like a live show, if you will, but keep in mind this is still in beta. So now let's create a study guide. If you're a student and you know you're going to be tested on, say, all this source material, what a fun way and different way to study and prep for your exam. There are a couple of ways to create a study guide, but I'm going to show you from under the notes section of our right-hand panel. Simply click on study guide. Now this may take a few seconds, but you're going to see it's generating a new note for you here within your notebook. And just like that, it has created a study guide that we can click to open. And here we've got our quiz instructions. There's an answer key, essay questions. There's even a glossary of terms. And check this out. You can even convert this study guide to a source if you wanted. How neat is this? So think about this. If you're a student and you've recorded a lecture, you could then upload that MP3 file of that lecture as source material in your notebook. And then you could use that to help you create a custom study guide. Talk about exam prep. Wowza. In the same studio panel, you can click to add a new note to your notebook at any time as well. Now here you would simply add anything you want that's relevant to your notebook or your project. I'm going to delete this just for this example because I want to show you how you can also create a briefing doc. So maybe you're onboarding somebody at work, you've incorporated training documents and PDF files and maybe an HR video or what have you. You can quickly, with the click of a button, create a briefing doc. And you can click into this briefing doc here once it's generated. And here we go. Ours that it's created for us is based on the key themes and ideas from our sources. It's pretty great. So in this same section, you can also create a timeline within NotebookLM. Now this doesn't really pertain exactly to my particular example that I have here of cleaning up your inbox, but if you had a ton of source files, maybe historical documents or something, and you're working on project workflows, this could really be useful for you. So I'm gonna click into this here and yeah, I mean, it doesn't really fit like this particular example, but you get the idea of how you could then use it. And lastly, you can create an FAQ doc. This is super helpful too. In that same source panel under notes, you're gonna click on FAQ. In a matter of seconds, it has generated an FAQ for me based on my sources. So check this out. It has literally generated a frequently asked questions doc in no time at all. How great is this FAQ option if you're putting together a web page of all your frequently asked questions for your service or product? Love. A couple of clicks and a matter of seconds, and it's done. Now, another couple quick notes for you. In your notes section, you can click the 3-dot menu icon to quickly convert all notes to a source. And you can also collapse or expand your left or right panels at any time using the collapse panel button. So collapsing them can give you a much bigger chat screen if you prefer that view. At any time, you can move out of a notebook and back to your dashboard by clicking on the NotebookLM logo in the top left. This is going to bring you back to where you can see all of your notebooks that you've created. You can create a new one from here. You can click to delete a notebook or quickly edit the title. You can see the creation date and how many sources for your notebook, and you can see sharing permissions as well. Now in the top right is your settings gear where you can send feedback if you encounter any kind of hiccups, and you can also change to dark mode here if you prefer, as it may be easier on your eyes. Now, when it comes to use cases, there are a ton, besides the ones we've just covered, like creating a briefing doc or a study guide or FAQ for your website. I've got friends that are quite literally using NotebookLM to create content, quick podcasts with a couple of clicks. They need content and NotebookLM does all the heavy lifting for them. You could use NotebookLM to decipher medical records for you. Think of how daunting it can be trying to understand all the medical jargon, and maybe you've got different doctors in different places for different things. Now you can upload everything into one central spot and build a solid notebook of your complete medical history and drill down into any questions or concerns you might have. NotebookLM could help you with your sales job or making sense of analytics. What are some other use cases that you can think of? Like, how are you using NotebookLM? How would you use NotebookLM? Let everyone know in the comments below. I'm really curious to see how everybody's using this. And before I leave you, we've got to go over some very important information. NotebookLM is still in its experimental phase, as we know Google likes to do. Meaning, we don't know if this is going to remain a standalone product or be integrated into something like Gemini or be scrapped altogether. So do not just simply rely on leaving all of your documents in there and thinking they're safe and saved forever. You never know. You should be, at the very least, downloading any information you want from here, saving it on a different drive maybe copying out any good summaries that it's giving you. Make sure you're creating some type of backup for this content. And remember what I said before, garbage in, garbage out. You're in control of the source information, so use it wisely. So that's your NotebookLM tutorial, and now I want to hear from you. How are you using NotebookLM? Let everyone know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, well, I want to know. So give it a like, a share, or you can leave that comment below. You can click right about here to subscribe to my channel, and here for more content just like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.